There's a moment most people never notice. When someone walks into your space and their whole body language shifts. They sit differently. They breathe differently. And you realize, quietly, that the way you keep your home isn't about cleanliness at all. It's about something running deeper. Picture this. You come home after a long day, and before you even sit down, something in you needs to restore order. Not because anyone's watching, not because it's dirty, but because your mind feels like it's holding too many tabs open, and this one thing, you can actually close. The dishes, the cleared counter, the bed made at an angle that would look chaotic to anyone else, but feels precisely right to you. There's a kind of relief in it that other people find hard to understand. Here's what most people miss about people who keep their spaces extremely clean. It doesn't mean they're organized or disciplined, or that they have more time. It means they experience the world with a sensitivity that most environments are not designed for. Your nervous system, in these moments, acts like a smoke alarm set to the most sensitive level. Most people walk through a cluttered room and feel nothing. You walk through the same room and feel like every object is demanding attention, like the chaos is pressing against your thinking. And so your body learned, quietly, that control in one area means you can breathe in another. The first layer of this is emotional regulation. Not the kind you read about in self-help books, but the real, biological kind. When everything around you is in its place, your brain stops processing low-grade chaos. It's like your mind gets to rest. And this becomes a skill most people don't even realize they're developing. You're not obsessive. You're managing an environment that other people can be casual in. But you can't. Not because you're weak, because your system picks up on more. But that's only part of it. The second layer is something psychologists sometimes call identity anchoring. You define yourself partly through your environment. When your space feels like you, orderly, intentional, considered, you feel like you. When it slips, even a little, there's this quiet internal alarm that says something fundamental is off. It's not vanity. It's that your inner experience is so vivid that it needs an outer world that matches it. And here's where it gets deeper. Most people with this trait carry a history of feeling misunderstood in environments they couldn't control. Childhood bedrooms that were always messy for reasons beyond them. Shared spaces where their needs were quietly dismissed. So your home became the one place where the rules were yours. Where you could finally be the person who had things arranged the way your mind needed them to be. And that wasn't excess. That was survival. Now this next one is the part most people miss entirely. There is a rare form of empathy inside people who keep immaculate homes. Not the kind that performs care, the kind that feels the weight of other people's discomfort before they even notice it themselves. You clean before guests arrive, not because you're anxious about judgment, but because you know what it feels like to enter a space and feel the accumulated weight of someone else's chaos. And you don't want anyone to feel that in your home. Ever. You are, in your own quiet way, making the world softer for other people, even when they never know it. But here's the contradiction that sits at the center of all of this. You look controlled from the outside. Inside, you're one of the most feeling-driven people in any room. You have created elaborate external systems because your internal experience is so rich and so easily overstimulated. Other people think you're calm. You're managing a symphony that never stops playing. It looks like one thing. Inside, it's something else entirely. Now, I want to be honest with you here because this matters. There is a version of this trait that becomes avoidance. When the need for order stops being about peace and starts being about never allowing anything unpredictable into your space, your life, your relationships, your own mess, then the clean home becomes a fortress. And fortresses keep everything out, including the things that could actually nourish you. The spontaneous dinner, the friend who needs to crash on your couch, the version of yourself that can be imperfect and still belong. If you find yourself turning people away because of the disorder they'd bring, that is worth sitting with. Not judging, just noticing. You're not broken. You just built something that worked. And now it might be time to examine whether it still fits the life you're living now. The truth is, people like you see things most people don't. You notice the weight of objects, the way light falls differently when a surface is cluttered. You feel the psychological texture of a room, the way other people feel weather. And that is not a flaw. That is a rare and specific way of being alive in the world. So if you've ever wondered why you do this, why the clean counter matters so much, why the made bed in the morning feels like a small kind of sanctuary, it's because you built yourself a place where your mind could finally exhale. And that was never about perfection. That was about creating a space where you could feel like yourself. Why do you think you're drawn to order while other people seem comfortable in the same chaos that overwhelms you? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to understand why some people feel emotionally responsible for everyone around them, which is a very adjacent and fascinating trait, this is the next one you need to see.